Today, guys, we're back in another video. Sorry if my voice might feel dead on some parts. It's because I literally had to re-record this because of family. Like my brother, he keep on coming. He's like, and he got raped. And my little sister, she was basically like, yeah, I want to just get out the room. And I'm like, my mama just literally told you to go to sleep. So yeah. Now that I'm done with all this ranting, back to the current time. Naruto Naruto stood in the field as everyone else had ducked off into the forest. Naruto then smirked as he raced towards Kakashi as he sent out multiple shadow clones. As they surrounded the areas, their chakra began to mold into kanji as they slammed their hands down. The kanji began to grow. The chakra began to grow into sophisticated lines. As this continued, Naruto had finally got towards Kakashi as they started off their fight. Kakashi noticed the seals and that he was getting weaker and weaker by the second. So he pushed Naruto back and was going to throw a kunai at the ceiling formation, but it had already gotten together. It was done. Naruto had this was made from chakra infused paint. This chakra infused paint was could not come off by anything, like nothing in the world. The only thing that could take it off was the same chakra being applied in a way that made it receipt to stop all seals, which is basically really OP. And then the clones began to push out their hands as they wrote using the chakra paint, which the paint was created by basically Naruto's bloodline, which is complete chakra creation. He could create anything with chakra, which is an Uzumaki Kekkei Genkai. So yeah, a lot. Uzumaki have basically two Kekkei Genkai, complete control over lightning and basically the ability to create anything out of chakra. They can make it into actual solid forms or just chakra forms. Something basically which possessed both of the adamantine chains, which was an Uzumaki, which the Uzumakis were known for. Anyway, back to the current time. Naruto had finished his hand sons as all the clones began to pump chakra into the part of the seal that they had just created, as it had created a chakra barrier out of thick and dense chakra. As Kakashi looked around, he could see through the chakra, but he could tell that it was so dense because it had its own tint of color, which was unusual. As Naruto then smirked. Come on, Kakashi, he said as he flew towards Kakashi. Kakashi noticed that Naruto seemed to be faster than usual, so he tried to jump back, but to his dismay, he was slower than usual as Naruto landed a massive punch towards Kakashi. Kakashi then dispelled, revealing it to be a shadow clone, as Naruto then smirked. As Naruto smirked, the smoke clouds of chakra, the smoke cloud of chakra was absorbed by Naruto as he began to suck it in. As he could use this smoke cloud of chakra, the Shadow Clone Jutsu wasted chakra in this way. The cloud was basically the chakra that they had used for the Shadow Clone Jutsu. So yeah. So Naruto used this chakra to locate Kakashi, as he found Kakashi hiding behind a tree, reading his Ichi book. Then the seals began to move as they receded. Naruto plunged a blade into the ground as the seals began to roll up his blade as they got smaller and smaller. Since the paint was created directly by his chakra, he can control it as if it was a part of his body. As Naruto disappeared, he was up on Kakashi. As he then kicked Kakashi, Kakashi was shocked. The only person who he ever saw move that fast was his sensei. Being that Naruto was easily Hokage Naruto in terms of power, you can imagine how fast he was. And that was without Baryon. Because Baryon is a massive boost. And Naruto is slightly enhanced by Baryon. No, he used his Shinpo, or the Flash Jump no Jutsu, which is faster than a flying Raijin, because I want Naruto to be as OP as possible. As he disappeared and reappeared in front of basically Kakashi, as Kakashi was sent into the ground, he landed in the field. As Naruto's blade was within the field, Naruto rushed into the field as Kakashi landed directly near his blade. Naruto then grabbed onto the blade. As this blade was made, he had made it himself. It was the most compatible with him. Like the 7 ninja swordsman's weapons, since they were created in Uzugakure and stolen after the Second Great Shinobi War by the Mist from the rubble. But Naruto had learned how to create weapons with the help, basically the help of scrolls recovered by basically Hiruzen Shinobi. As Hiruzen was like, "Oh Naruto, did you know that your clan was good at making weapons and all?" He was like, "Oh word? Shoot, I didn't know myself. So can you give me some scrolls on that?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure. You can have these scrolls right here." As he said, it's give him a week to get the scrolls, and Naruto would be good. So Naruto allowed him to get all the scrolls, and Naruto is good. Anyway, Naruto had his blade on the ground. His blade was perfect for him. His blade conducted chakra like lightning. It was the best for him. He could use his blade to instantly create seals on the fly. With the slice of his blade, seals could be everywhere. He could seal an entire room. Plus, once he created any chakra nature on the blade, it was conducted so easily that Naruto found the blade almost irresistible. Plus, the blade had a special trump card, which was made directly for him. When he used basically 100%, when Naruto basically used Baryon mode, the blade could phase through opponents, similar towards comedy. So he could phase through a block and completely harden on the other side, slicing opponents in half. This would made his blade so dangerous. He could also use it without Baryon mode, but it required a lot less chakra in Baryon mode. Or Baryon mode just had a lot more chakra that came with it. So yeah, it's pretty much OP. As Kakashi shook if Naruto had his hand on the blade, as the chakra is basically the seals began to spin off of the blade rapidly as they had were abundant around the area. Naruto and Kakashi then got into a Kenjutsu battle, with Naruto using a blade and Kakashi using kunai. They were basically equal in terms of prowess because Kakashi was moving incredibly slow. But if Naruto was going basically all out 100%, we all would know within his regular form, he would be basically around current Kakashi's level. But with Baryon mode, he could basically slap anyone within any time, even Madara. Like, say the 6 paths of Madara with 10 tails, he could whip him. He could slap his face and call him a child. He was really that OP. So Tokage and Naruto literally slapped on Urashiki, who could slice planets in half. Literal planets in half. And if he wasn't protecting his village, he would have basically slapped on both of them at the same time. The only thing that put Urashiki above, no, I think it was Kenshiki, not Urashiki, Kenshiki. The only thing that put Kenshiki above Naruto is basically his guardian turning into a fruit. He ate him. That was all. It was all that gave him the upper hand to where Sasuke had to come in. He was like, pop, pop, pop. Yeah, because Hokage Naruto could slap on each and every one of them, especially with Baryon mode. Like, you just know that Hokage Naruto slap on anyone with Baryon mode. Anyway, as Naruto looked towards Kakashi as he sliced as hard as possible, his clones, the seals around him, were getting more and more complex due to his clones doing that. As Kakashi was at this point, Kakashi was getting a bit weaker than current Naruto. Then him holding back as Kakashi jumped back. Your profession as a seal master is quite incredible, Naruto. Kakashi said, as Sasuke's eyes opened widely. The dope was a seal master. It was, well, no, no, Sasuke isn't like fucking saying that Naruto is a dope. He's like, wow. He knew that Naruto's house was like basically powered up with thousands of seals, but he didn't know that his house was like basically sealed out. It was so icy though, but anyway, his his house was fucking hella icy. Anyway, Kakashi lifted up his blade. Then he was going deep in, about to kill Naruto. Excuse me. I'm unleashing a turn into flames. As Kakashi basically jumped back, as then Sasuke jumped out of the bushes as he ran through as fast as he could. And then he slapped on the bracelet that Naruto had for in case this seal was ever created. As Hinata did the same as they rushed in. As they all began to fight, they began to slap on Kakashi. As Naruto grabbed onto the two bells. Naruto, since you got the bells, who are you gonna give them to? As then he was shocked when Naruto grabbed onto his blade and sliced the bells in half. To everyone, he said, as he then threw 3 of the half bells towards Kakashi, Sasuke, and Hinata, as he kept one for himself. As Kakashi then looked at Naruto with a smile on his face. You all pass, Kakashi said, with a smile as he had his thumbs up. As Kakashi then reported to the Hokage, it seems that gold eyes. It seems that gold is progressing soundly. Good, the Hokage said, since he is an ex-Anbu. Since he is an ex-Anbu, since he is still an ex-Anbu, since he has to do all of the missions and stuff, I guess I'll have to do everything myself. The next day, the Hokage's office. What missions are we getting, Gigi? Naruto said, as he looked toward him with a cheerful face, as Sasuke, Hinata, and Kashi are on site. Your first mission is going to be a C-rank mission. This mission is to wipe out a local bandit camp. Near the Rain Village. No. On the outskirts of one of our villages. One of the smaller villages within the Fire Nation, he said. So what do these bandit camps specialize in? Well, taking a lot of sake, the Hiruzen said, as everyone could clearly see that he was annoyed. I haven't gotten any sake for the last 3 days, he said, as he ran his hands through his hair. If you can get rid of this camp, then I will allow you to skip through the C ranks and get a B rank mission. If you do good on that B rank mission, then you'll be only doing B ranks until you become Chunin. The third Hokage said with a smile on his face. He knew that all of these missions would go smoothly with Naruto on their side. Near in Naruto's house. What did you want us for? Naruto said. No, Sasuke and Hinata said. I wanted to show you something, he said. As then they followed him towards his room. He then as he walked into the closet. Here's this. No. As then Naruto then created chakra paint on the tips of his finger. Then he put a kanji, as then he drew the kanji for Shinpo. The kanji for basically Shinpo on the wall. As then the wall opened. As then they walked through. Where are we going? Sasuke said Naruto just didn't answer. As they walked for the next 13 basically minutes. As they walked, they finally reached it. A room. As they looked, they saw a picture of Naruto with golden eyes, with the sword basically, wearing Anbu attire. As they looked around. What is this? Sasuke said. These are your outfits, he said. As then he went over towards a section. As he went over towards the painting, then he looked up directly into the eyes of the painting as he activated his Baryon eyes. Then the painting seemed to pop out a bit. Then it slid down. Follow me, he said, as then basically like steps basically began to appear out of nowhere. As they followed him, they went inside of the wall. As they followed further, they looked ahead to see two sets of gear. No, to see two separate doors. One engraved with the sign for Uchiha, and the other engraved with the sign Hyuga. Within each room, you'll find your attire. I've placed seals on them, which will upgrade your stamina, speed, and strength. Since all of you are bordering Chunin level, since each and every one of you are bordering Chunin level, one shall upgrade to these. Once you put these on, you'll be bordering low Jonin. No, you'll be bordering high Chunin to low Jonin level. These clothes were specifically made to suit your fighting styles. And for you, Sasuke, he said, as he opened up, as then he walked over towards a seal. Place your blood, bite your finger, and place it right here. As there was basically basically a small thumbprint as the blood dripped down. Then the wall began to glow slightly, and out of one slot popped out a blade. This blade is made for your affinity. Since you have a high affinity towards fire and lightning, you will be able to conduct lightning onto the blade. And at the tip of the blade, you can create small fire blast as it absorbs your chakra. It also gives you the ability to actually see your entire surroundings. Because of the sword's complex abilities and seals that I placed on it, you'll be able to see the area around you, similar towards the Byakugan. As for you, Hinata, he said, looking towards Hinata, go over there, bite your thumb, and place the blood. As Hinata did so, out popped gloves. These gloves have seals that allow the magnification of chakra. It also conducts electricity and it allows you and it also allows you to do hand signs a bit faster. It also protects your hands as if armor would do towards the body. As they then suited up, each and every Sasuke looked forward as he had his blade strapped onto his side. It was a Japanese katana style blade. As y'all all know, I like me some katanas. As Hinata had on fingerless gloves, which once you looked at them slightly, you could see tiny bolts of lightning jumping off of the gloves. As Hinata then smiled. If we got all of this gear, where's yours? Naruto then said, this is it. Showing off as basically his clothes, which were black at first, as he then bit his thumb a bit, as he then wiped his thumb on his basically clothes, as they began to churn a different shade of color. As a cape, like a cloak-like thing, ran down, as it had the kanji for 9, and under it was a very detailed picture of the Kyuubi, and he held fingerless gloves, standard Akatsuki shoes, plus which were actually golden, plus golden pants which shined in the sun, plus a basically long sleeve shirt. As he smiled, chakra began to charge around him. Baryon mode, he said, looking with a smile on his face. As his Baryon mode was basically what no, not Baryon mode. He had basically had on some drippy ass clothes. What time is it? It's 3 o'clock. It's already been 30 minutes in. Gotta at least get that to 40 or 36. Either one, however, I feel like. As they then walked out of Naruto's house, they were looking drippy as hell. Drip, 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 drip. Drip, 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 drippity drip. As they walked, they reached the gate. Kakashi said, a change of attire. And then he noticed, he could sense it. It was a seal on the clothes. As he then began to look around. No, not look around. He then said, by any chance, are those enhanced? Do I sense enhancement seals on the clothes? Yeah, you do, he said with a smirk on his face as he jumped up a bit. The enhancement seals were grand. Let's go, he said as they charged off into the sunset. Around a week later, well, no, not a week, 2 days later, outskirts of Kona. No, I'd say a day later, outskirts of Konoha, of the Fire Nation. There was basically a group of bandits. As we see 3 bandits outside by a table with 4 bottles of sake, as one of them chugged an entire bottle down. As he then slammed the bottle down. This stuff is grand. This shit is good. Let's go get some more, they said. Then Naruto appeared. You won't be able to, he said. And then he pulled out his blade and quickly pierced through his opponent. As seals began to wrap around his body. As he ripped his... as he pierced through his gut. He didn't actually kill him yet. As he ripped it out, seals began to flow around his body, stopping the bleeding. As his mind went numb, Naruto then basically slung his blade down. And then a sealing pattern came onto his head. Then the bandit turned around. He began to viciously attack his partners, injuring 3 of them before he was dead in. You bastard! A very, very injured bandit said, as then he flashed towards Naruto at top speeds, as Naruto just spun his blade, as Naruto just basically sliced off his head. Sasuke then said, Sasuke then looked at the horrifying sight. Then he calmed down. He didn't know why he had calmed down. He just saw his partner, his teammate, kill people. As he looked around, as he noticed a portion of his jacket which was glowing a purplish color. As he looked at it, it was a seal. And then Kakashi looked at it. Emotion suppression seal. And then Sasuke finally noticed it.